Buenos tardes, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye up, bye up. Let's get to the intro. Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV. Thank you for all your support. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun is kicking. And I appreciate it. So it's been 3 years, man. And today the hammer came down. Very unexpected from what I thought it was going to be. But Kain Velasquez was sentenced today, UFC fighter Kain Velasquez, to 5 years in the California prison system. Now he's going to get credit for time served on the year solid that he did in Santa Clara County Jail. Also, he's going to get credit for the 2 years he did on ankle monitor. So he's going to do a quick turnaround, but he is definitely going to prison. Now, there's going to be a lot of questions asked. Who was Kain Velasquez going to kick it with in prison? Well, Kain Velasquez is an anomaly, okay? He's not someone who goes to prison every day. We're talking about a man with no criminal record, no criminal history, someone who's has no vested interest in gangs or anything like that, and someone who is world known and well renowned to have major hands, right? So there's not going to be too many people lining up at the front door of Kain Velasquez's cell to bump baking soda breath. It's not going to happen. In fact, he's going to be respected. You know, the charge that he's going in on is definitely a situation where, you know, what would you do as a parent if something was allegedly happening to your child and it happened repeatedly? You know, I don't blame this guy for doing what he did. Again, you can't take the law into your own hands, and I don't push violence upon nobody. But if I was in the same situation, I'd probably do the same exact thing. You know, there's a moment of insanity there, a moment where it's a crime of passion, very passionate about your children, right? And Kain was too, and continues to be. And so he took the law into his own hands, but in every case, there's laws. Okay, this was a fishy situation from the beginning. Let me explain to you. First of all, Santa Clara County has almost 100% conviction rate. They're like 99.7 or something like that. If you go do crime in the city of San Jose and the surrounding areas, you're done. You're going to do some time. You're going to prison. They will cancel anyone else. Anyone will tell you Santa Clara County is no joke. Santa Barbara County is pretty much the same way. I know those two areas right there, they don't fuck around. You know, Santa Barbara's tourist heavy, so they'll cancel your Christmas. And Santa Clara County will cancel all Christmases. So Kain Velasquez, you know, for a recap, for those of you that don't know what he initially did, you know, he found out that there was a guy that was molesting his child. And, you know, this guy was let out on probation, or not on probation, but released on bond. And Kain Velasquez followed him home, discharging a firearm, and tried to get at him. And in the midst of doing that, man, he fired several shots on the freeway. He hit the guy's stepfather or father, right? In the arm, non-life-threatening wounds, whatever. They arrested Kain Velasquez, and I thought it was pretty odd and crazy that they sat him down for almost 9 months to a year in the county jail with no bail. He went to several bail hearings where they kept denying him bail. And I wondered, why does that happen? I mean, Wes Watson goes up one bail out. Lefty Gunplay goes up one bail out. Why was it that they held Kain Velasquez for so long? Blueface, shots fired, bailed out, shots fired again while on bail. Then he finally goes to prison. Kain Velasquez had no criminal record. He posed no threat to the safety and security of the community, but they made an example. I think it was around election time, and they were like, you know what? Examples will be set. Anyways, he ended up ultimately getting probation. He was given an ankle monitor and put on house arrest for over 2 years. After several delays today, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Okay, he's going to prison. I thought, you know, the district attorney, of course, they're pushing for the max, or they were pushing for the max. They were pushing for a 30-year to life sentence for Kain Velasquez, the former heavyweight champion of the UFC. And that was because, of course, that's what it carried. Now, we know when he pleaded no contest, he was going to get a deal. I thought his lawyer might have worked some type of deal out. I was hearing the word on the curb was he was probably going to get 10 years joint suspension or even 5 years, you know, or some time served and probation. He ended up catching the 5 years. Now, he'll get credit for the time that he's done. And I think they'll give him credit for the ankle monitor, but he's going to go to prison. Now, He's probably going to be, because of his crimes, a level 3. A level 3, which means he can go to any prison throughout the state of California. And of course, I don't think anyone's going to mess with them. Now, there's going to be these crazy questions that are asked. Is he going to fuck with the Norteños or the Sureños? He's Mexican. Is he going to hang around with the Paisas? I don't think he's going to have to pick and choose. We know he's from San Jose. Actually, he's from Texas, and he lives in San Jose. We know that in Santa Clara County, there's a lot. It's Norteño heavy. So there's mainly Norteños in San Jose. So I'm sure he's functioning around Northerners and Southerners. I don't think that guy plays the gang politics. He has no intentions to play the gang politics. So he's going to go into prison, and I think he's going to be revered. I think because of his crime, what he's in there for, and who he is, no one's going to mess with him. He's going to have a lot of respect, and he's just going to do his time. He's not going to have to function with the North or the South. He's going to be an anomaly, one of those hybrids, one of the guys that's in prison just doing his own time and not functioning within the gang element in there. Okay, now I could be totally wrong. He can get in there, and people can, hey, come kick it with us. The water's fucking warmer over here on this side of the yard, and whatever. But ultimately, I think he's going to function probably with the others or the Paisas. More than likely the Paisas, because he is Mexicano. He has brown pride on his chest. He can function with the Paisas, which means he would be on the southern side of the yard. Okay? No, he's not going to have no issues, no problems. There's not going to be anyone trying to extort him or push up on him, because motherfuckers know he has hands. He has major super duper hands, right? So no one's going to try to do that. But unfortunately, it's a situation where if you take the law into your own hands, right? This is setting a precedent. This is laying a demo down. Not even a demo. It's been known, right? Widely known. But you'll go to prison. Now, is there some racial type shit going on here? Because I sure trip how certain individuals get in and out. We're talking about a guy who allegedly molested his son, got bailed right out. And it took Kain Velasquez almost a year. Okay, now, is it racially motivated? Is it because he was Mexican? Now, I think it has more so to do with his stardom. I think it has more so to do with his celebrity, to tell you the truth. I think because of how high profile this case was, and because of his celebrity, they see UFC fighters as a deadly weapon. They see UFC fighters as potentially dangerous. And you know what? I can't blame them, to be honest with you. You got a lot of these guys that, get CTE and start going crazy, J-catting out, losing their minds, and they become a liability to their community and society. That's a fact. With Kain Velasquez, it's a whole different story, but he'll go to the prison system. So now this is what happened. Since he's been sentenced, he's going to be remanded to the county jail, and he'll sit in county jail for however long it takes to transport him. Now, he's already been sentenced. That was the sentencing phase. So he'll be on the next one smoking. Being that he's in San Jose, he'll be in more than likely San Quentin by today's what, Monday? Wednesday, Thursday at the latest. He'll arrive to San Quentin. He'll be placed in, of course, in San Quentin the reception side, and he'll sit there. He'll have testing done. They'll find out exactly his points. They'll find out, where they have bed space, do psychological evaluations. He'll go to medical. They'll draw some blood. He'll do whatever he has to do while he's in reception, and he'll sit there for 2 to 3 months until ultimately they send him somewhere. Now, here's the thing. Kain Velasquez is general population. His charges, he's not a gang member, none of that. Now, he can choose, and they can place him because of his celebrity. Now, I've seen celebrities go GP, mainline, but I've also seen celebrities go to the SNY side. It's totally up to Kain Velasquez. Are you not going to watch his fights or hate him because he goes SNY? I think this guy has earned the right to go to whatever prison yard he wants to that is the softest, so he could hurry up and get out and get back to his family. He has no allegiance. He's a civilian. Well, not a civilian now. He's a convicted attempted murderer or whatever lower charges they gave him. But I wouldn't mind if this dude went to SNY, got in and got out and just did his program. If he goes to GP, I believe he would be able to function without any problems. And I'm sure in SNY, nobody's going to want to test his abilities, because the first person that comes up trying to ask him for a sopa, they don't want to fucking do what the fool. They don't want to tap out. This guy's going to have easy time. But any time you're away from your family, especially when you're not used to the criminal element or doing time like that, it's going to suck. It's going to suck for him. But, I'm kind of happy that Kain Velasquez sat down in Santa Clara County Jail as long as he did, because that was an eye-opening experience and he learned how to do time. See, that's the problem with situations. It doesn't mean a guy's a punk if he doesn't know how to do time in the yard. It just means he's not used to doing time. Doing time. Okay, going to the yard and being around gangsters and gang members and people that are the criminal element, that's nothing. That's nothing. That's man shit. You have to be a man. You're born that way. And I'm sure Kain Velasquez knows how to be a man, right? He's not scared of anybody or anything. Probably scared of the situation, like how's prison going to be? It's something new. Who am I going to be around? Are there some J-cats or crazy people? Anyone is nervous, more nervous than scared, right? But as far as being able to handle his business, I'm sure he's not even concerned with that. Now, as far as the boredom and doing time, that's what gets people. That's what makes people J-cat out. People don't know how to do time. They don't know how to do they can't understand the complacency, or they can't understand the boredom that goes into doing time, the redundancy of things over and over, the same old shit over and over again. You know, Cain will be just fine. He's going to go in there. He's going to find him a couple good workout partners, and everyone's going to be running around like, hey, Cain's on the yard. Cain's on the yard. It's not like you think in prison. Now, if you're a gang member that's been involved at a certain level, of course, you're going to have to go in there and you're going to function and you're going to kick it with your people and you're going to politic, or they're going to politic on you. And that's what you signed up for. Kain Velasquez is basically a resident, someone who was on the streets, who's non-gang affiliated, who's never been a part of that life, who got caught up. It's kind of like a dude who comes in on a vehicular manslaughter, but he wasn't really living that life. He was a banker or just a regular guy. If he wants to sign up to kick it with the homies and kick it with the South or the North, well, then definitely he's going to have to fucking raise his hand and do what he has to do. But in Kain Velasquez's situation, because of what he's in for, because of who he is, I pretty much think he'll probably go to an SNY yard. Now, Blueface is on a level 3 yard, Lancaster, right? So just because Kain Velasquez is popular doesn't necessarily mean he has to go to protective custody or he has a sensitive need. You know, he can go anywhere he truly wants or wherever they want to place him. Again, ultimately, it's up to committee. It's up to the reception that he goes to, which is going to be San Quentin, for them to ultimately decide where they want to send him. I think Kain Velasquez is going to be all right. It's a quick turnaround. He might even make a level 2 yard. I think because of the nature of his crime and the points, he'll probably be a level 3. But there's a slight possibility they could override to a level 2. They could always override and drop. They just can't drop 2 levels, but you could drop 1. If he goes in as a level 3, they could override, drop him to a soft-ass level 2, you know, and he'll be all right. But Kain Velasquez was sentenced today to 5 years, and I blew my mind because I thought he was going to get time served with probation or even some type of joint suspension and be able to be out with his family. But obviously, the judge in Santa Clara County wanted to set a precedent. They said the judge had tears in his eyes when he sentenced to Cain because he understands. People understand how upsetting this whole case is and how unfortunate, how this could have been bypassed. Now, the victim or the alleged victim, this guy Gularte, who was the one to have alleged touched Kain Velasquez's kid, is set for trial on June 2nd. So he's still going to have to meet his maker. Now, of course, if he is convicted of his crime, he ultimately will be sent to an SNY protective custody yard because there's no way he could function on a main line without Kain Velasquez putting his foot up his ass. It's just what it is. But Kain Velasquez should be all right, man. I don't see him having no issues. You know, no one's definitely going to press up on him. You know, there's going to be a lot of selective politicking going on there. And he's not going to be forced to kick it with anyone. They're not going to say, hey, you're fucking from Texas, so you got to kick it with these guys. Or you're from Northern California, you got to kick it with these guys. It's pretty much a situation where he's going to go in. Because he's Mexicano, he's going to have a choice. There's going to be a choice to be made. And by the time he gets to a mainline prison, he will already have made that choice. Look, he's going to San Quentin. San Quentin is very top heavy with Norteños. There are some Southsiders there. There's some Paisas, but there's a lot of Norteños. So he might just get in where he fits in, kick it with the Northerners. It's all good or it's all bad. Again, I think just from my perspective, he'll probably kick it with the Paisas and function and do it like that. But we never know, right? Anyways, just a little breaking news, man. Kain Velasquez sentenced today to 5 years in prison. He was remanded in court back to the county jail. Like I said, he'll probably be on the next bus smoking, whether it be tomorrow or the next day. By Thursday, he'll definitely be in prison. And it's unfortunate, man, this whole situation. It could have been bypassed, you know. It's crazy to think nowadays, these weirdos, man, you can't even drop your kids off at daycare, you know. And again, I'm not making excuses for Cain because Cain's Mexican or who Cain is. You know, you do a crime, you're going to do some time. They're showing you right now. It doesn't matter who you are. You know, although I do really think race slightly might have played a role in it. Especially, definitely played a role when it came to the bail hearing. definitely played a role, man. You know, he sat in county jail for that long. But I understand discharging a firearm, shooting at a car while it's moving. There's no excuse for that. Even if it is a momentary lapse in sanity or a crime of passion, it's still, there's no excuse for taking violence into your own hand. And Kain Velasquez expressed that. He did a press conference before. He's prepared to do his time. He's prepared to do what he does. I've been following this case, kind of monitoring it closely for the last 3 years since the day he got arrested. And today it comes to conclusion. You know, it's only going to be a slap on the wrist and a quick turnaround. Like I said, he was sentenced to 5 years with time served, and a quick turnaround in prison. So, like I said, level 3 probably more than likely, or level 2 shouldn't have no issues. We'll see what happens. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head. Where's the clown? I was going to say that. Where's the crowd? Right? Shit, the crowd. You're all welcome. Let's go. Where's the crown? I'm going to continue to do what I do, man, and bring you guys the breaking news when I can bring it, man. Gracias. I appreciate you. The gun.